Nicole Chaplin, the fitness rock star. I'm from Miami, Florida, of Jamaican descent, and I am going to talk to you about being a personal trainer slash group exercise instructor slash fitness personality, because that is what I am. A little bit of background history about my fitness lifestyle and how I came to be is always, as a small little girl, I always saw mommy playing tennis. She was always outdoors doing something active, and it leaked into my life. So I started roller skating, I started playing kickball, I started building tree houses. I always wanted to be outside. Then in junior high, I became a cheerleader, and in high school, I became a choreographer and dancer, and then in college, I was a choreographer at the University of Miami. Why is that important? Because what happened to me in my younger years translated into me in my older years as an adult. Receiving my marketing degree from the University of Miami has played a huge role in my success of becoming a personal trainer. And why do I say that? I say that because I can market myself to anyone who wants to become fit. Whether you're a mom, whether you're on Wall Street, whether you're a dancer, whether you do lawns for a living, whether you work in a hospital, you need to be fit. And me being a personal trainer, I can help you do that. How do I do that? I gotta know my target audience. I gotta know who I'm going after, and I gotta know why. Now I'm a mom, an emergency C-section mom, and a lot of people think that once you have a C-section or an emergency C-section, you cannot get back into shape. So I'm out there proving to people that you can, and that comes from knowing who am I targeting and my demographics. That's why it has worked in my favor. One of the stereotypes that is attached to being a personal trainer is that you work out all day, and you don't. You have to make sure that you know the programming of your clients. Where are they? What's their body fat? What are their measurements? How do they feel? What are their eating habits? You have to take into account all of these factors to make sure that your clients see success. If you're a group exercise instructor, you have to put routines together. You need to know beats per minute, BPMs. You need to know the size of your class, who is in your class, how are you going to make sure that no one in your class gets injured. So when you're a personal trainer or you're a group exercise instructor, you're not just exercising all day, you're there to help other people. Now, being a fitness personality, I also write books, I do tours, I do speaking engagements. That takes time, and you have to prepare for it. You don't just step on stage like Essence and just pop up. You have to prepare and make sure that what you're delivering to the audience is top notch. So all three of those careers, all gobbled into one, you need a lot of things to come together. One of the misconceptions about being a fitness personality is that you're on the gram all day long or social media, and that is not the case. I'm an author, I'm a motivational speaker, and I do a lot of charity work. And with that comes a lot of preparation. Making sure that what I'm expressing to the audience makes sense and that they take something away from it. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good from the inside out. And being a fitness personality, your role is to make sure that you inspire and motivate others. Now, I know a lot of you are home because of the pandemic, and many of you may be inundated with social media, with images and videos of things and people and what they're doing, but I want to encourage you to focus on what you want to do. Focus on your goals and your dreams and aspirations. That may mean doing more research on your goals. How do you get there? What do you need to do to get there? Who you need to meet? And doing that, I guarantee you will accomplish your goals. And if you want to follow me on social media, it's at Nicole Chaplin 1. NICOLECHAP like Paul, LIN 1. See you soon.
Hello everyone, my name is Officer, let's not do that, I'm gonna take that off. Again, hello everyone, my name is Officer Kimberly Jackman. I live in Long Island, New York, and I'm gonna speak to you today about being a New York State Court Officer. Okay, so as I was growing up, I wanted to be a veterinarian. Yeah, way far off from being a court officer. I loved animals. I wanted to be a veterinarian, you know. As a teenager and a young adult, I worked in numerous animal hospitals. Always had a lot of pets. So as a young adult, I was raising my daughter and going to school and working at the animal hospital at the same time. I was going to college to achieve my bachelor's degree in health. Once I did achieve getting the bachelor's degree in health, I realized that there wasn't much advancement for me in the veterinary world unless I wanted to be an actual veterinary doctor. And in the years of me being in the veterinary world, I realized that I do love animals, but I don't want to perform surgery on them. At that same time, I had that revelation. The opportunity to take the court officer exam came up, and my mother strongly encouraged me to take it. Strongly encouraging, she paid for me to take it. She didn't give me a choice. And at first, I was kind of iffy about being an officer of any sort, but I took the test anyway, and I thought about it later. And here I am 13 years later with a career that I enjoy going to every single day. No 2 days are the same. We hear a lot of very interesting things. Sometimes it can be exciting, but we don't want too much excitement now. But I do love my career. And my father was a New York City detective, and he also was encouraging for me to take this exam as well. And he was very, very proud when he found out that I was accepted and I was going to be completing the academy. Our academy is 3 months long. So graduation day, we had to march from the academy across through some New York City blocks to the graduation site. And my father, being the detective he is, came and found all 120 of us marching through the street just to take a picture. He was very, very proud of his daughter following in his footsteps. And one thing he did was he always encouraged me to not just stay in one place, but to advance any which way you can. So one thing that people might think about court officers is that all we do is just stand in the courtroom and yell at people. Put your phone away, stop talking, sit up, things like that. We do that, but we also provide protection to all the staff and the public, and we are here to maintain decorum in the courtroom. That's why we tell you to put your phone away, sit up, no talking. But there are further placements in the court system. You don't have to just stop at being a court officer. You can promote and take an exam to move up to sergeant, lieutenant, captain, major, chief, whichever, as long as you study and you're personable, you can rise in the ranks. You can further your education in the realm of firearms to become a firearm instructor. You can be an academy instructor and teach other court officers what to do. Or you can try out for the special response team. Now, the special response team is a team that is called in when the circumstances are a little more extreme than a normal courtroom setting. About a year ago, I tried out for the special response team. And I was one of 4 females to make it out of a class of about 75. That involved going for a week of extreme physical training and mental challenges. We would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, travel into Brooklyn to the academy. We would have a day full of wrestling, grappling, gauntlets, hitting people with pads. And there was no female on female. It was men versus female, men versus men, female versus female. It was a lot of fun if you're that type of rough and tumble kind of person, and that is definitely me. It was mentally challenging as well as physically taxing. And I made it through the week. I've been on special response for about a year or so now, and it feels really good to be able to walk around and don this patch. Okay? It's a challenge. It gives you the opportunity to respond to different scenarios that might happen within the courts. For example, if there's a protest outside of a courthouse and you need extra personnel there to keep people safe, we would be there. We get different types of gear, tactical gear, not like what you see here. We get to learn how to shoot different weapons from different positions. It might be on your leg, it might be on your ankle. Things that you wouldn't do in the normal course of business in a courthouse. So that's another thing that you could try and do. And you get to do, one other thing that's amazing. You get to do like simulation training for the people that are in the academy, okay? So you get to basically be like actresses and actors in certain situations so that they know how to react. So there's a lot of different things that you can do while being a court officer other than just standing in the courtroom. Now, we have this situation with COVID going on, and I just want to applaud you all for continuing to do your best given this the circumstances that are happening right now. This is a situation that affects everyone globally. We're all suffering. We're all stagnated by this horrible pandemic that is happening right now. But I need you to remember that it is in this time that we are being challenged that you have to push forward even more, okay? You have to fight even more for what you have set for yourself. COVID came in and dismantled everybody's plans, not just yours, everyone's plans. But just like when I come into court, I'm not sure what I'm going to face every day. I don't know who's going to walk through that door. I don't know what they might have dealt with before they walked through that door and came in contact with me. I don't know how they're going to react to me. I don't know how they're going to talk to me. But what I can do is to remember to look at things from different perspectives, okay? From different views. Remember that they're coming from a different walk of life than I am, and just try to be more understanding of their situation so that I can help them in the end. Working here is not a happy place all the time unless you're doing an adoption or someone's getting married. So you're not going to meet the most pleasant people. Just like going through life, you never know what's on the other side of the door. Life on life's terms means that you don't know what situation is going to be thrown at you, and it's at that time that you have to realize, I need to be able to work through these things, these hurdles, so that I can still achieve my goals. So keep fighting, okay? Keep encouraging each other. Keep loving each other. Keep supporting each other as you push through this pandemic. We're all in this together, okay? We have not forgotten the things that you have achieved so far, and we're looking forward to seeing what you have in store for the world to see going forward. Stay healthy, stay blessed, and stay in hope and stay in faith. My name is Kimberly Jackman, and I am a New York State Court Officer.
What's up, family? My name is Danni Farrar. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about what it's like to be a fashion designer, fashion stylist, and an entrepreneur. Growing up in the heart of Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, it literally has been my entire dream to just create, to really just to express myself fully as best as I can. And growing up, it might not have looked as much as it does right now. Definitely being a creative from a creative family, I'm fortunate that I was given the tools to an extent to really express myself. Kind of like the junior high school years, I really started cutting up my clothes. Okay, and I'm not saying for you to do that, but it's something that I did as a way to express myself. And as I got older and I got a little better with it, my friends started letting me cut up their clothes too. So that really helped me, again, to express myself as a creative. That's one of the things that I am always pushing for. So it wasn't, interestingly enough, it wasn't until far past my school years that I actually did take fashion seriously. I was 23. I know I look 12, okay, but I'm 33. But at the time, I was actually 23 years old, and I moved to Miami, Florida, to attend the Art Institute. And it was literally an eye-opener. I know a lot of people think being from New York being one of the fashion capitals of the world, it's like, why would you go somewhere else? But it just really didn't stick for me. And I wanted to find somewhere that I felt like I was really able to express myself and really able to create fully. And as soon as I walked into the Art Institute of Miami, it was just like, oh, like literally, okay, the heavens open. So that's really where I got my fashion start. And then 2012, I moved back to New York and I started my business. I did organize Danni Farrar LLC, and I started Christian and Grace. So everything that you see on, okay, including the scarf and all of the pieces here today, I actually designed them myself with my own two hands. And being self-taught as a designer, it's a lot. Sometimes you feel like you might not know something, and that's where education comes in. My grandmother always says education is the key. She preached that to us throughout our entire lives, and I definitely do agree. While some careers you might not need, to get a master's or a PhD, but however, as a designer, as a stylist, it's always something out there to learn. especially in the fashion industry. Things are changing every day. So for me, I continue my studies by doing online courses, especially now, and as well as accredited courses to really make sure that I stay up in tune with my knowledge of the industry, and as well as fabrics, cuts, shapes, all that good stuff. Okay, you just gotta know, okay? People think being an entrepreneur is a way to not work for someone, and that's really just not true. Being an entrepreneur, your clients are who you work for, like seriously. So it's not, it's a very fulfilling, I'm so fulfilled that I'm able to create something for myself as well as to create something for people. But that cliche, it's such a cliche. Being an entrepreneur, it's probably a little harder than the normal 9 to 5 because you literally have to create from start to finish, okay? And entrepreneurs don't even really have a 9 to 5. We kind of go from like 9 to 9 almost, and not even Monday through Friday, like Monday through Sunday. Okay, well, Monday through Saturday. Being an entrepreneur, no, it's not easy, but it's so fulfilling. So if any of you out there, okay, are thinking about it, are dreaming about it and wondering, can I do that? Yes, you absolutely can. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it too. And one of my most, I would say, an entrepreneur, not an entrepreneur, more so a mentor that really came into my life. It was before I actually attended fashion college. Back in 2009, I was interning at BET Television Networks, and I was working on the set for 106 in Park. So some of you might know, okay, Terrence and Roxy, absolutely amazing. And I was able to really work with different celebrities, Mary J. Blige, LeBron James, and really cultivate my craft and really cultivate my own personal style and how I'm able to really share that with my clients. And it has been an amazing experience. I would say to any and all of my creatives, well, first of all, we're all creative, okay, to a certain extent. We all have been given our own tools to express ourselves here while we're here on earth with people. So I would definitely say whatever it is that speaks to you, regardless of what age you are never too young, okay? Whatever hobby you may have or had, okay, pick it back up, look into it. For me, the one thing that has stuck with me was a piece of advice that I received, and it was straight to the point. Do what you love and you'll never work again in your life. And that's something that I have taken with me. That's something that has resonated with me. And, pretty much found out to be true. I don't feel like I'm working when I'm working with clients or when I'm designing something. I just feel like I'm in the best place, that I am doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm happy all at the same time doing it. So I would say to all of you, do that, okay? Find what you love and you will never work a day in your life. You're more than welcome to follow me on social media and check out my website, DanniFarrar.com. I have a plethora of different things. I also do a fashion styling podcast. You can also find that on my social media. And my styling podcast is Style on the Fly. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then as well as my business page is DF Fashion Consultant, also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check out the link, okay? Check out my YouTube. It's so many great things that I've had the pleasure of doing, and I would love to share that with you. I commend all of you right now, all of my graduates. Congratulations, okay? You are stepping up, okay, to the next level. You have done amazing. Regardless of what's going on right now, you have done it. So celebrate yourself, and we are celebrating you today.
Now here in the third quarter, the scoring drive, 12 plays, 74 yards, 4-13, and Jared Siegel connection, 33 yards, and he will kick it off. And a very high kick, but it will be returned. Bennett, some space. Bennett makes a move, and Bennett could go. Bennett to the 40, no flags. Bennett to the 20, all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Indiana.
Special teams, I say again, Joe, special teams will break your back.
98 yards for Lance Bennett.
How's it going, guys? My name is Lance Bennett, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and today I'm going to be sharing with you what it's like to be the assistant to the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Previously in my career, I was a high school football coach in Brooklyn, New York. I was also a football coach in New Jersey, and along with that, I was an athletic director in high school while I was in New Jersey as well. I grew up playing football.
Here, hopefully we can hold on, but our third game, we won that one, and then the fans caught fire.
Well, we're going to talk more to you now as Indiana comes running out with the football out to the 30, to the 35-yard line as Bennett could break it. He's to the 35, the 30, to the 20, stumbles at the 15-yard line. Lance Bennett, who's only 5'6", little self-tackleization. He returned to kick.
I played high school football in Brooklyn, New York at Poly Prep, and the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores, was a teammate of mine. So my relationship with him, as well as my experience as a football player in high school and college, a football coach in high school, and an athletic director in high school, is what led me to now being the assistant to the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. The experiences that I had as a player, the experiences that I had as a coach, as well as the experiences that I had as an athletic director, those have taught me so many things about this role that I have right now, even though I didn't realize back then that those things were preparing me for this role. As an athletic director, you have to oversee a budget. You have to oversee the equipment staff. You have to oversee the athletic training staff. You have to oversee information technology. Those are the crew that runs all of the computers and all of the information that's sent out as far as scheduling, and all of the information sent out to the players and the doctors and the trainers for the physicals. You have to make sure the grounds crew has the turf and the grass cut and prepared for the players to practice and play on. All of these things you have to do as an athletic director, and that's actually what I'm doing as the assistant to the head coach. My duties are, the chief of staff for the head coach to oversee and make sure that all of those departments are all in tune with one another. So the schedule has to be on point down to every minute and every second for the coaches to have their special teams meetings, their offensive meetings, their defensive meetings, their position meetings, and then those meetings have to break right onto the field. Then when you get off the field, you have to break right into the dining area. So the kitchen staff has to know exactly what time practice is ending and exactly what time lunch should begin. And then the equipment staff has to know exactly what time practice ends in order for them to do the laundry, in order for them to prepare the helmets and prepare the shoulder pads and all of these things, so that practice, meetings, travel to and from away games, travel to the airport, travel to the hotel once we land in a certain city, all of those things have to happen seamlessly in order for our schedule to not have any interruptions and for things to flow smoothly. So my role is to make sure that I'm the glue between all of those departments to make sure those things happen. There's a lot of other information that I have to double and triple check for the coaching staff. Once again, like I said, schedules. We have to make sure everything is planned, not only by the minute, but by the day and by the month, even down to the NFL draft, which we just had this past weekend. Okay, these are the draft selections for every single team in the NFL. Okay, knowing, what can happen during the draft, where we may make a trade, or what players may be available from other teams just in case we want to make a trade. And even down to as thick as this pad is right here. These are the social media accounts for all of the college players who were just in the draft. Everything that they posted on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook for the last 10 years. So we even do character checks to see, what are these guys posting on social media? Is this a guy we would want in our organization? So things like this is information that I check and I do reports on to make sure that the head coach, Brian Flores, is aware of any and all information about any players we would be bringing into our organization, as well as the players we already have in our organization. Right now, I'm using an app called Teamworks. And what Teamworks is, it's kind of like our own social media platform. This would be like our own Facebook within the organization. So every player, every coach, everyone on staff has the Teamworks app, and we use this app to communicate with each other, okay? We can upload files, we can upload videos, we can upload meetings that we had in the past to make sure that everyone can look at it again. We can upload the itinerary of when players are going to be reporting and when they're going to land, and to have our operations crew go and pick them up. We can send messages to each other. This is how we communicate within the staff. This is our calendar, okay? So this is how we communicate with each other and make sure that all of the information is getting out to everyone involved. Every day I'm responsible for making sure that Teamworks is up to date with the calendar, and make sure that any messages are blasted out to the players to make sure no one is missing a meeting, or no one is late for a meeting, no one is missing a doctor's appointment, as well as, you know, the offensive and defensive and special teams information that the coaches give out. We blast that information out to the players through Teamworks. So every night I have to make sure Teamworks is ready for the next morning, and then when I wake up in the morning, I check it again just to make sure. If it's not, I get in contact with my information technology people and update the IT team to make sure that any corrections that needs to be made will be made. So much of what I've learned from a problem-solving standpoint to an organizational standpoint, to even a time management standpoint, I've learned while getting an education. As much as I loved football and as much as I loved playing and coaching, you know, the lessons I learned in the classroom, the lessons I learned studying after school, the lessons I learned, you know, from having a tremendous workload and being able to manage that workload, those lessons have afforded me this opportunity. Relationships are a great thing to give you an opportunity, but if we're not learning and we're not educated and we're not ready to take advantage of those relationships, we can get an opportunity and not be ready for it. So learning and continuing to grab the nuggets that you can grab specifically in the classroom, as well as, you know, how you manage all of that information when you get out of the classroom, is very important to prepare us for whatever career it may be that we want to get into. I believe the biggest misconception about football, or the NFL more specifically, is that you have to be a really good player or you have to be a really good coach in order to have a career in this league. But there are so many other avenues that you can explore, from being a general manager to being a scout to being someone in information technology to being someone in analytics. That, you know, these are people who never even touch a football and they never even run a meeting with the players. There's so much that goes on in the organization outside of actually playing and coaching football in order for an NFL organization to be successful on the field. We have a sign up in our defensive meeting room that says "Adapt or Die." And we know we're not literally going to die, but the reason for that quote is that we are always going to be presented with something we didn't expect. We believe that in the game of football, but we also believe that in life. And we teach our players to adapt. We teach our players, don't get flustered, don't complain, don't get nervous, don't shrink back in a moment that has come because you didn't expect it. And right now, I commend you all for going through school right now at home. All right, you guys are learning through the computer. You guys are going through non-traditional learning right now, and you are adapting. So I give you a lot of credit for that. And I will say that from a career standpoint, the more you learn how to adapt to your environment, adapt to certain relationships, adapt to a certain teacher or classroom that you may not like. But those who adapt, they will end up putting themselves in a position to step into great careers, step into happiness, step into things they're passionate about, even when those opportunities are not what they're used to. So adapt. Go Fins.
Hi, my name is Patrice Irving, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Today I'm going to speak to you about what it was like for me starting my career as an architect and then moving into a construction management role. I actually started in 10th grade in high school. I went to high school in Maryland, And there in my 10th grade class, there was a girl named Lucy sitting next to me, and she dropped a piece of paper and it flew under my desk. And as I picked it up, my nosy self looked at it, and there was a floor plan, which most people call a blueprint. And I asked her if she'd done it in school, and she told me yes, and I ended up signing up for that class. It was an AutoCAD class. And so 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I studied architecture mainly using AutoCAD, and then I started my schooling at Kent State University in Ohio, where I studied architecture, and I actually hopped around from a few schools and ended up back in New York, and ultimately graduated from City College. And I went to school, obviously, because I thought I had to, but in New York, actually, and I'm not sure if it's still the same now, but at the time, you could work at an architecture firm for 10 years and still, get your licensing. But the good thing about going to school is that it allows you to have what's called reciprocity, where you could go to other states and just, fill out the paperwork, pay the fees, and you would be able to practice in that state as well. So for many years, I started working in architecture in 2001 until 2018, I did a bunch of different work, residential, retail, mainly high-end construction for high-rise buildings. And the issue that I always found over the time was that there's always a fight between the architect, the engineer, the GC being the general contractor, because there was always something missing. Somebody blaming somebody, nobody wanted to take the fault for it. And with my last company that I was with in architecture, I was on site a lot, and that made me want to join the construction field because I like being the architect. I like drawing the drawings. I like understanding what it is that the client wanted, but at the same time, I like being able to be on site and help implement what needed to be done. No, this isn't right, or can we tweak this a little bit? I did a lot of renovations, and nothing goes per what the drawings say, because you come there, you knock down a wall, and it's not what you expected it to be. So then I switched into construction project management, and I found that me being an architect, going into that field was extremely helpful, especially because I had been on site for a decent amount of time as an architect. And actually that change from architecture to construction helped me understand more of what was required from the architect, what was missing, why there were disconnects, and I really liked it. A lot of people ask, is it hard being a woman in this field and a Black woman in this field? And to be honest, over time, I think that because I stepped into it as if this is who I am and this is what I am and this is just what it's going to be, I never had the issue as in, I have to fight for my position. No, for me, it was just, all right, I'll show you who I am. I'll show you what I can do, and it's up to you to decide if you want to keep me. If it's that you don't want to work with a woman, or that you don't want to work with a Black woman, there's nothing that I can change about that. So I'm not going to fight you or try to convince you otherwise. Even when I locked my hair in the middle of all of my journey with work, and I just expected people just to accept me for who I am, because that's just what it is. And ultimately, you don't want to be part of a team who's going to judge you based on your gender or your spiritual beliefs or whatever the case may be, your race, your sexuality. Be who you are, be yourself, and be unapologetic. So now working in construction, I find it very viable. I really like it. There's a lot of troubleshooting, and maybe it's that I worked in architecture so long and in a very the same type of work with ending my career in architecture and high-end residential, it became a little mundane. And I think it's very important to always challenge yourself, always find something new, always build yourself, build what it is that you can offer in your field. So, I definitely would recommend any man, any woman, to definitely, engineer, architecture, construction. I think it's very important for us as Black people to make ourselves known and build our own. It's not really about
oh, I'm gonna go break into this company that's known for having like all white people, and oh look, I'm the first. It's not about that. It's about creating your own for yourself, for your community. And I really love this time home because, you know, you're just going. You never have a chance to slow down unless you take a vacation or it's a weekend. And this time has proved really well. A lot of great time with my children. Yes, I do miss working, but you know, I'm taking this time in stride, as you should. And I think that, you know, as you move forward in your future and you push forward your goals, just focus. You know, you're going to have setbacks, and don't allow those setbacks to stop you forever. You know, keep moving forward. You know, no matter what, you know, small progress is progress, you know, and even step backs just make you learn from your mistakes, and you can still progress from there. So, you know, I hope that all of you and all of your families and friends are doing well during this time. You know, just stay focused on whatever you can, you know, try new things. And some days you struggle through what it is that you need to get through. Struggle, you know, just grow stronger through it and get through it. And you'll be very happy in the end with you know, meeting your goals and creating more goals and showing others the way. You know, you will be a leader. I'm telling you, you will be. So I hope that, you know, you all are, you know, continue to do well, continue to focus on your goals and your dreams, and don't let anything stop you. Seriously, don't let anything don't let anybody tell you you can't do it, because you can. You put your mind to it and you prove them wrong. And at the end of the day, to be honest, it's not really about proving them wrong. It's about reaching your goals. So I wish you all the best. And I hope that we all get through this safely and soundly, and, you know, more power to you. Love y'all. Bye.
Hey family, my name is Martine Harris. I'm here in Los Angeles, and I'm about to share with you what it's like to be an author. I've been writing as early as I can remember, since kindergarten. I've been writing in journals. So I would just write about my day. I would write about riding my bike. I would write about how much I love my sister. I would write about when my cousins were coming into town. I mean, sometimes I would just write about nothing. I just needed to put that pen to paper and write. So by the time I was a senior in high school, I had a stack of journals, and I could just literally reflect from when I was 5, 6, 7 years old all the way through high school. So it wasn't until 7th grade that when I was learning about the Harlem Renaissance and learning about Langston Hughes. And I did some of my research on the side, and we had a poetry assignment due at the end of the semester where we had to write some poetry and then turn in our journals to the teacher. And I realized how much I really enjoyed that assignment. It didn't even feel like an assignment to me. It was very fun. And I remember between classes, my English teacher pulled me aside and told me that I should enter into a writing contest. And just those words gave me enough confidence. I still hold that to this day. It gave me enough confidence to continue writing. And so I really looked forward to like creative writing assignments after that, and writing essays. Whenever there was a writing assignment, I was ready for it. I was ready to go. So what's funny about with my book, it's actually my journal entries from 2007 to 2012. In my adult years when I moved from New York to Haiti. And so it was kind of simple, where I just took my journal entries and I self-published them, and it's been quite the journey. One misconception about being an author, and this is really funny to me, is that you can only be an author. Like, that's what you do. I've realized a lot when I meet people, they're like, and when I just tell them about my day as a speech and language pathologist, because I'm a speech and language pathologist and I run a nonprofit organization as well. And so when I'm talking about working as a speech pathologist, they're like, oh, but you're an author. Yeah, I am an author. Like, oh, so yeah, you can do multiple things. I'm sure there are many authors who are also work at a salon or enjoys doing makeup. Like, you can, and this applies for every career, you can do as much as you want. Whatever your interest is, you could be doing 5 things. I know I'm currently doing 4 things. So I'm not just an author. I'm more than that. I can only imagine how tough it's been to be pandemic, where you lost the last 2 months of school. Some of you have missed graduations, and it's been really tough. I can only imagine. So I really just want to congratulate you guys for being flexible, going from, you know, being in a classroom to now having virtual sessions, but for staying focused and getting through the school year. I know it hasn't been easy, so keep up the good work. And thank you so much, Kaleidoscope, for choosing me as one of the participants for your virtual career day. And hopefully I'll be meeting you guys in person one day. I look forward to it. Thank you. Bye.
Hey guys, my name is Bobbie Cheri Gobert, and I'm from Los Angeles, California. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about being a caterer and a cookbook author. I just released a non-dairy cookbook called Don't You Dare, and it's right there to my left. My parents were both creatives. My dad is a musician. My mother, pretty much superwoman. She could pretty much do anything with her hands. She cooked real good. She sewed all of our clothes. She did our hair bows. She did drapes. She did slip covers. She could draw. My dad could draw too. My grandfather could draw too. I feel like everybody can draw if you put your mind to it. But anyway, I saw this growing up and I just knew that I wanted to be a creative too. Right after high school, I decided that I wanted to get my cosmetology license. I loved doing hair at the time, and I thought that that was something that I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. It's been about 20 years, and I've decided that cooking trumps pretty much everything that I ever wanted to do, including music, which is very, very hard to believe. But I wake up thinking about food. I want to cook it. I want to eat it. I want to talk about it. That's pretty much it. So growing up, I had a lot of friends. I still have a lot of friends. Most of the people that I grew up with from 2 years old, I'm still friends with to this very, very day. And since we live so close to Hollywood, quite a few of them have become what people consider a celebrity. So when they come to my event or they post something on their social media, my business benefits from it almost immediately. I didn't get a degree, but I think that it's important to take classes and get certified in any field that you're doing. When you do a trade especially, you have to get the education. There's no way around it. Whether you're taking online classes, for me, I can't be in a physical location with a bunch of people, a bunch of personalities, and a teacher. I work better one-on-one, hands-on, or maybe watching videos, and then you have to take a test at the end. Whatever floats your boat, whatever works for you, do it. But you still have to get the education. There's no way around it. And it's so funny, in this culinary world, I'm seeing a lot of people revere chefs that go to a certain school, French, like cordon bleu or something else that's considered prestige. But I know personally, some of the best cooks are not even chefs. Sometimes talent and skill, of course, cultivated with the education that I talked about earlier, can put you right up with the best of them. Don't let people's ideas or what they think you have to do for that particular field stop you or discourage you. I look at the stuff that I make and I'm like, I know I have something for the world. I didn't get a degree, but the ideas that are in my head and the education that I'm getting to propel me to where I need to be is going to put me up there with the best of them. So I encourage you guys to go to school, whatever capacity that may be, learn the trade to the best of your ability, be an expert at it. And they say to be an expert at something is to get 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. So continue to push after your dreams and reach your goals. The best advice that I was given was from my mother, who told me, and this is just a simple thing, it's nothing super, super deep, but she said, it's never too late. My mother started her culinary journey after me and my sister were well into adulthood. She always cooked really, really well and wanted to get the training to back it up. So she went to school and she got her certificate, and she was older than I am at the time, and I commend her for doing that. I'm about to be 40. Yes, I know I don't look like 40, but I'm just starting my culinary journey, moving from doing hair and entertainment to something that I was kind of ignorant of, but I just always hear my mom saying, it's never too late. It's never too late. Start where you are. If you procrastinated for 3 months, on that 3 months and first day, you decide that you want to do it, do it. It's still available. It's always there and ready for you whenever you are. I want to take a moment to acknowledge everybody who is adapting to this new way of learning and communicating. I just discovered Zoom a few months ago, which I had never needed to use, with FaceTime and, just being able to pull up on somebody. But times are definitely changing and we're doing different things, which is why we're having the virtual career day. Also, thank you, Kaleidoscope, for even thinking of me. I think it's so important that we take the time to give back in a positive way, that we show our young people that you can do anything that you want to do, not just be a doctor or be a lawyer, but you can be a chef, you can be a graphic designer, you could be, you can own a talent agency, whatever you want to do, a marketing agency, you can do whatever you want to do. The days of traditional learning and doing things are done. So again, thank you for having me, and I hope you guys enjoyed and got something out of this.